Ciao! Thank you for registering. This is the first of the 3 unpublished videos that you won't find published in any other place, and through which we'll discuss topics that no traditional real estate agent will ever tell you. In these 3 videos I'll talk to you on how the game works in Italy, explaining how the traditional real estate agent generally work here. In the second video I'll explain to you what are the very first things to know and what are the risks to avoid. And I'll tell you who is the notary and what's the role he plays. In the third and last video, I'll give you a concrete example explaining what happened to people who wanted to invest in Italy without knowing all the things you found in these 3 videos. But now let's go straight to the point and start by understanding how the game works. You know, it's not easy to look for a house in your city despite having the advantage to knowing market value, the best areas, the services that are present around the property, let alone in a far area from where you live, that you know only because you have been there on holiday or because they have spoken to you about it. If your search is also directed towards a foreign country, which you don't know their customs, laws and purchasing methods, and sometimes even their language, the difficulties are amplified. We all tend to think that to look for a house in a foreign country we must follow the classic procedure by starting to search on all real estate portals for properties on sale to find the right property to suit our needs. Proceed to contact all the agencies that advertise the property that interests you. Explain to each real estate agent what will meet your needs. Go and see the properties and then discover that the ad looks like beautiful houses, but instead it's anything but that. Realizing that the house didn't reflect the characteristics of the ad. If all this causes you stress and anguish while being close to home, imagine the stress that it can cause you if you had the fact of having to organize a trip, book a hotel, or move the whole family for a single weekend or a whole week to a foreign country whose laws and purchasing methods are unknown. Well, do I still have your attention? As you can see, I'm looking into your eyes while I'm recording this video because I know what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and I want you to trust me. Well, now I explain how it works in Italy. I would like to state that there are many good real estate agents, but what I'll tell you here is objective and you can't ignore it. I know I'll be attracting the antipathy of so many real estate agents because I'll reveal so many secrets that no real estate agent would ever tell you. But I think it's necessary for you to know these things. The traditional real estate agent in Italy is contacted and chosen by the seller, who gives them a task to sell their property. The buyer chooses the property and, as a result, hooks up with the real estate agent and then has to deal with him whether he is friendly or not. The real estate agent, during the process of the sale, follow both parties, the seller and the buyers, and should do so impartially. However, due to the fact that they have been in contact for a longer time and they have established a relationship of trust, they will inevitably feel closer each other. And the real estate agent in a commercial negotiation will tend to favor the seller, often albeit involuntarily. Imagine then, as it often happens in smaller villages when they are all friends and or relatives, if the seller is also a friend of the real estate agent. Who will be the favorite? In a nutshell, all this means that when you contact the real estate agent to get more information about the property you have seen on the real estate portal, you usually pay a fee for receiving assistance from a professional who has been commissioned by the seller. Let me explain myself even better. You will be assisted by a lawyer who has been chosen and appointed by the other party. Will he also protect your interest? I hope you are not bored. We are almost halfway through the video and I still have a lot of information to give you. Please don't make the mistake to thinking that the fact that the video is free, therefore is not valuable. My goal is to make you understand who I am and help you not lose a lot of money. But let's go back to us. And after explaining the choice process, let's now talk about the process during the negotiation. It's true, the seller and buyers have only one aspect in common, which is to reach a commercial agreement that can close the deal. However, if you think about it well, they have opposing interests and targets. One of them is the price of the house. The seller is obviously trying to sell his house for the highest price. The buyer, the exact opposite, has the target of getting a lower price in the best possible conditions. If the traditional real estate has been commissioned by the seller, will he be able to protect your interest without any kind of influence in the negotiation? Actually, I know that your answer was no. And not because I have read in your mind, but because it's simply normal. We are all inclined to take the side of those we know more. But just as the traditional real estate agent will never reveal you the last price the seller would accept, likewise, you'll also need a professional who will never reveal your real budget. Have you ever come across a real estate agent who accompanied you to see the house and says to you, the owner never told me how much he's willing to sell? If your budget is $1 million, let's try making to offer for an amount. Well, at that moment, he is not protecting your interest. He is working according to your budget. Or are we sure that the property you intend to buy could easily be resold in the future, and that there are no possibilities where there could be decreases in prices? And if there is a project to construct a story building in the land in front of your beautiful villas overlooking the sea, the real estate agent will tell you, or in agreement with the seller will try not to bring up the subject? Is the property I have chosen in the best location to invest in it, and is commercially valuable? Now, let me ask you, would you like a player from the opposing team to play in your team in the most important match? Would he really do his best to take your team win instead of his own? Let me leave you to reflect on it. In the next video, I'll explain the very first things to know when you want to invest in Italy, what are the risks to be avoided, and the right procedure to follow before looking for property. I'll tell you who the notary is and what his function is, and how you can protect yourself to avoid getting caught off guard. Pay attention to these videos, and if you want more information on this is our email: info@namarealestate.it. Ciao ciao!